Okay, we're live. Hi, I'm Arlie Barton, and I'm here with Heather Shores, and we are going to show you how to set up your first assessment and go formative, and how it can be useful in the classroom, and also how you can connect it to Google Classroom as well. So let me get I'm going to switch over to my desktop. So for Go Formative, as far as the ISTE standards go, are concerned, it's an empowered learner. Starts with the students leverage technology to take an active role in choosing and achieving and demonstrating the competency and the learning goals informed by the learning sciences. And so with Go Formative, this is a way to help those students take ownership of their own learning. At the same time, you're able to assess their knowledge and give them immediate feedback as well. So I'm going to go over to our website, which is goformative.com. Create an account. You can go ahead and do it through Google, since every teacher has a Google account, and it makes it easier because all your information is already in there. The greatest feature that I like so far about Go Formative is that you can import your Google Classrooms. So you can see Ms. Shore's classrooms are down here below because she put me down as co-teacher. And so you're able to import all of your Google Classrooms. And once you do say import Google Classrooms, you might have to refresh your browser because it did take a few minutes for all of it to populate, so you're able to see those classes. So if you don't see them at first, take a minute, refresh it, and then they should go ahead and pop up. So Ms. Shores had her students do a formative assessment for me, and I want to show you the greatest thing overall about this so far is it tracks the students' data. So here's the formative that I had created as a sample. And down here you can see the students did, because I haven't gone back to mark the correct ones yet. So it looks really bad, but it's really not. The other fun thing that I'm going to show you is you can actually tag these with standards, so you can even keep track of your TEKS and how well the students are mastering the TEKS every time. So let's go back to the beginning. So every time you come into Go Formative, you have your desktop right here. Over on this side is your formative assessment that you have created. This is the one that I've created as our test sample. And all of these little circles up here represent all of the classes that you may have linked if you utilize Google Classroom for your classroom. So you can see all the different ones. This classroom is the one that took the assessments. I'm able to click on this little icon with this, and I can see here that there's 3 questions, and I can see which students got what questions. So if I need to go back and reteach a certain topic or concept, I can see which questions most of my class missed to go back and spiral back in, or if there was just a small number of students, I can pull a small group and work with those students about that one particular concept. So I'm going to click on the student right here, and I can pull up her individual answer over here off to the side. And you can see the question was 5 plus 2 times 3. And her answer is correct. So I can actually go ahead and assign a point right here. And even better, down here at the bottom, I can say, great job. And I can give instant feedback to that student. Okay, well, I've gotten more students who've got this correct. So it's a great way to track. It's a great way to give instant feedback to the students. They can see that feedback. And so now let's kind of go back. Once this, I know you're probably intrigued. So I want to show you, how do you get to this point? So if this is our goal, how do we get there?
Mr. Freeman, you need in the front office, Mr. Freeman.
The blue button right here to your left is new formative. This is how we create a new formative. When you click on this, you can title it if you're going over a certain type. I'm a math coach, so all of my topics revolve around math. So if we're talking about integers, for example, we can name this integers. And this plus symbol is going to let me choose different types of questions. So I can have an image that they have to, which is going to be great for your social studies, for science, for your ELAR. You can import an image and you can have students provide feedback on that, on their interpretation, what it represents, so forth. Text block, you can import a video from YouTube. So if you created your own videos, or you have you subscribe and you see like Math Antics or other YouTube subscribers that have really great videos out there, you can actually embed that URL link that the students can watch and then attach pictures to it. You have multiple choice, which is always an easy give me for you to put in your answer keys, multiple selection for your checklist, short answers, essay, show your work so the students can write out the answers, or if it's a math problem to show it, true, false. You can upload PDFs and documents, but you can see down here it's kind of small. There's only so many pages per month you're able to upload a PDF or a document. So just be aware of that feature whenever you do sign up and you like that feature. Just be cautious. It will continue to decrease as you upload pictures or PDFs. If they're multiple pages, they're going to count each and every page. It's not one document. It's how many pages are in that document. So let's say we have multiple choice. So you type in your question here. What is 5 plus -3? Sorry if you're not a math person, I apologize. And then you write in your answer choices here. You can have 8, 2, let's go with -8, -2. This little feature right here, the little price tag, is where you can tag your standard. This feature I thought was fantastic. I had already gone through and chosen Texas and the TEKs that I needed for math. And this, and if you can't remember all of them because you don't have all your TEKs memorized, you can, along with the TEK, you can see and so when you go through, you can see which TEK this belongs to, which is add and subtract integers fluently. If the concept goes over more than one, you can have each TEK over there for your questions. And this is a great way to track and have that student ownership of you did really good on this TEK, but we still need to work on this TEK. And it helps with that tracker. So I will show you another type of question as well. When you hit the plus sign, that's how you get multiple questions. For short answer or essay, I will let you know that you can add the correct answer, but if the students do not type exactly the exact same words that you use verbatim, it does count it wrong, but you have that feature to go back in where the students are located and correct those answers and give them points and provide feedback for them. So if they've gotten most of the answer right, or if they, have the whole entire thing right, they just didn't use the same words, you're able to do that. Explain how you solved the question before. And so I can go down here and have them type in the correct answer. But I would be cautious of using this feature because I don't want them to count the student's answers wrong and the students see that and they kind of get deflated when they think they have answered it correctly. I would recommend kind of leaving it blank and then going back and kind of going over those and giving those students the right to have that right answer. And once again, I'll tag the same standard. That's not the right standard. And you can continue like this with all the different ones. For videos, it works the same way. And then for a video, you do have to add a question afterwards if you put in a URL link. Once you have created your assessment, you go to the Assign feature right up here in the top right-hand corner. This is where you can assign it to multiple classes if you use Google Classroom. If you do not use Google Classroom, you can choose guest students. Down here at the bottom of these optional settings is you can return the scores instantly after the student submits. If you don't want to return them just yet, you can say decide later. Answers. after the session ends, after the student submits, so that they can see, and enable edits after final submission. That's up to you if you want to use that or not. So if you do guest students and you click on assign, it gives you this join code. So to go formative, and then use this join code to join in, put in their names, and then they're able to answer those questions, and it still goes into a tracker for you to follow them and to see exactly which students got which questions correct or incorrect. I do want to show you how Google Classroom works if you were to link it to Google Classroom. So I'm going to step out of that. I'm going to reassign this. I'm going to assign it to, what class did I do it before? Fourth period. Oh, this class right here. So once I have a classroom from Google Classroom, you have a new feature down here at the bottom. So you still have the first three features, which are the same, but now you have post to Google Classroom. And if you were to click this on and you click on assign, it's going to immediately post to Google Classroom. And I'll show you what that looks like. So I'll pull up that Google class right now. And I'll go to the top of the class. There we go. Let me refresh the browser. Did it post? All right, let me try that again. Let me refresh. All right, so I'm not sure why this didn't refresh. I'll show you what it actually looks like. I have already added an assignment to this class last week. And the students actually commented and gave me some feedback about the app, which are the website, which was extremely helpful. So right here is what it will look like. It has the assessment name and it has the link for the students to go to. And they're able to go ahead and not log in, but take the assessment. And so the students were able to give me feedback on the assessment and what they liked about it, what was kind of confusing about it. And so I'll show you that assessment so you can see when it talked, one of the students had mentioned that question number 2 was kind of confusing, or some students refer to it as 1B. The reason that is, and I was glad to have a class that kind of tried it out for me, is the assessment that I created for them looks like this. So we saw the multiple choice, but the second one, it says this was show your work. So on the teacher side, it looks like this. On the student side, they were not able to write on it or answer it. So that's what kind of confused them. So for the show your work aspect of it, you do need to have a question that's separate, because this feature wasn't as easily accessible for the students to use. So you might want to try the show your work feature before actually assigning it for a grade. This is what it looks like when you upload a PDF. And then over here, I said short answer for them to type in.
They were on a desktop. If they're on an iPad, they would be able to.
Oh, good. No. So Ms. Shores let me know that her students were actually on desktops when they took it. So that's why they weren't able to use the show your work. But if they were on an iPad, on a device such as that, then they would have been able to write on it. So just another note to remember that if desktops, they would not be able to use this feature right here. But if they're using a device, they would be able to. So nice advice. See, that's why it's good to have a group of kids try this out. So over here, I had 2 pages of questions. And so I just, instead of having a question for every single one of them, I just asked the students to type in all of their answers over here for the short answer. But you have different options for this. So this is just how I use for a PDF. So this would have taken up 2 of my 20 pages for PDFs. You can add however many questions you need to. So if you have a passage that you need to have the students read and answer questions to, you can have multiple questions along the side for students to answer about that text or events, number line, picture, depending on your content. And then the last thing that I had uploaded was I created a video on how to multiply fractions. So I linked my YouTube video here. The students were able to play it and watch it right here. So they were able to watch this video, and then down here was the question to go with the video. And this is the example how I said, if you type in the correct answer, I typed this as the correct answer for the students. Since the students didn't use these exact words, a lot of them got it wrong. But going back over in the tracker viewpoint, the students did get it correct, so I was able to go back and change it. You do have some equation features over here for my math teachers. I know that's always a difficult thing for math teachers when they have a new app to use or website to use, is trying to get those equations. And so they do have an equation feature in here as well. So you can embed YouTube videos just like this. I just want to review that real quick. So you can embed YouTube videos. And then you do need to put a question below it for the students, or multiple questions below the video, because it doesn't come in as one option. So as you can see for the students, it does automatically question over here for them and put the questions, and the video did not have a question because that's what they have to watch to see the video right here. So, and I want to go back to that final piece that I think is the most important. That goes with Go Formative is you have this for multiple choices, easy to have the correct answer. But when you go back to the tracker, you can see how the students did on the questions. You can see how the students did on the standards that you have tagged. If you have multiple standards tagged, then it'll show you. If you have multiple questions per standard, it will show you how they've done. So here's all the classes. This is how you import them or create a new class. You do not have to have Google Classroom. This is just a great feature to already have students imported for you automatically without having to put in their information. But it's not necessary to use Go Formative. And then here you can also see every single question that was added, how they did. And as I said, for the ones that were specific over here, it says you have to divide the denominator, so we can see that this student doesn't really understand that. So we can come back down here. That would be a reteach moment, small group moment for that student, and give their feedback. But that's why it's very interesting with the short answers that you have to be careful by putting in an answer as a teacher, because if the students do not use the exact words that you use, it will automatically count them wrong. So those are just some little helpful tips to see the responses. You can export it here. If you're trying to show students, you can always hide their names. And so they don't know who got what wrong or right, but you can show them this information of how the class did overall for a concept. This is a great way to get your students grouped for small group instruction. Trying to think if there's anything else. But I love this feature. I think it's fantastic to be able to use any device, especially for our teachers that are one-to-one. This would be a great way for them to put multimedia into their questions, so it's just not multiple choice all the time, but they have those open-ended questions. I'm going to put up Ms. Shores and my contact information. Ms. Shores is at Brandenburg. She teaches 7th grade reading and social studies. I am a math instructional coach at Lyles Middle School. We are more than happy to help you with any way that you may have for Go Formative, as far as logging in, creating an assessment, how to connect it to your Google Classroom, or even how to find the standards, the different types of questions that are available. Please contact us. Here's our email. Here's our Twitter handles. I'll leave those up there. Screenshot those, write them down. Ms. Shores is going to, in the comment link, she's going to put in the link to earn your CPE credits for watching this webinar for Go Formative. You can use that link to get, is it 1 credit of hours? And if you're ever interested, I know there's multiple sessions for different levels for all of our apps for I3s. This is just kind of a beginner just to introduce it to you. And there may be other sessions for the advanced techie people that take it and run with it. So, but we are here to help you. All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us today, and we will talk to you all next time.